Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Caught on the Mic. And I really have to emphasize the word exciting. Like I start every episode, I like to give a little bit of an anecdote, personal anecdote, about one of my next guests. When I am mowing the lawn in the summertime, I have a specific summertime playlist. Throw on the noise cancellation headphones. I get to this particular part in my front yard that's right by the mailbox, and I swear to you, this same song kicks on, and it makes me smile from ear to ear because it is so wholesome, and it is so joyous, and it is by my next guest and his band Ballyhoo. The song is called Mixtape, and I am very excited to welcome my next guest, Howi Spangler of Ballyhoo, to the podcast today. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I love that. That was great. Wholesome. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, but it is, man, because it like for me, it's kind of a callback to a time whenever I would make mixed discs, I would make mixtapes, and I didn't just make them for girlfriends or love interests. I made them for absolutely fucking everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. I remember being a kid and like making even before CDs, like literal tapes, like mixtape. I would have all my favorite bands and those great. And then of course CDs came around and you're burning, when you had that like late 90s, you could start burning disc and it took like an hour to like burn the disc.
Right. Whenever, with you guys having been a band for 30 years, dare I say that, now I'm really making us feel old. Yeah. Did you ever find yourself burning mixed discs for your bandmates and like, okay, guys, I'm really inspired by all of this right now. I want you to listen to all of this as soon as you can?
No, we was like for the mixtape. That was more like with the girls in high school and all that. And then for the guys, it was more like, by the time we were like really getting on the road and doing things, it was like the iPod was out and then iPhone, so it was like all right, let's listen to this. I got 1,000 songs on this thing.
Well, let's kick it off and let's talk a little bit about the origin story. You and your brother started Ballyhoo back in the mid 90s. What do you remember from those first early days of the band that still shapes the way it is today?
Man, the the love of it is it's gotten I have to admit it's gotten harder to love as I get older, just because it's very demanding, but that's why we started it, because it was the love of it. We wanted to like do that. We had our favorite bands. Our first show was Rat and Poison in 1987 in DC, and man, my parents took us to that, and it was that was something that just like sparked. So I was like, whoa, I want to do that. I was like 6 years old, and from my dad always had instruments in the house. He was a drummer in a bunch of bands when he was coming up, and so when my really early years, like 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, there was a drum kit in the house, so I'd try to play that. And he had, he would have like drum pads, and then we had like those 80s like Casio keyboards with like the yellow pads, the black one with the yellow pads. So there was always music around, and my mom loved to dance and throw on her tunes and stuff. So it was very music oriented when we were little kids. And then I don't know, we just like discovered our own music, because I listened to whatever my dad was listening to in the late 80s,
Right.
And then I found R&B, fell in love with that sound, just loved like the Boyz II Men and like Shanice and All for One and like all these bands in the early 90s. I love that sound. Like that Bruno Mars record that came out a few years ago, 24K Magic, like embodies that sound so good.
It does.
And it just takes me back. I just smile the whole time I listen to that record, that Bobby Brown vibe, that so I loved all that stuff. And then Nirvana happened, and my brother kind of went that way first. I was still like holding on to like my R&B, and like Ace of Base. I loved Ace of Base.
Right.
I didn't even realize I was listening to reggae at the time. I was like, this is cool. I like this. And then it was like, you know, 93, 94. I started hearing, like, listening to alternative radio. There's a big alternative station here in DC called WHFS. And then I heard Green Day, you know, it was like Stone Temple Pilots and, um, oh my God, so many, Pearl Jam, obviously. But like Green Day was like the one that really got me. And I was like, okay, I actually want to do this now. Like I wanted to do it since I was a little kid, but now it's like, I'm like the right age for this. I was 13, 14, you know? Um, and we started rehearsing in my mom's basement every day for, I think it was about 8 months. We booked some shows, probably like we'd been playing through the summer of 95. And then sometime that fall when we got back to school, somebody's like, hey, we're going to do a concert here to benefit the German club, you know, because if you wanted to do like a show at school, it had to benefit some club at
Right.
school. That's how you had to get in there. And so it was the German club, and the German teacher was like all about it. And so we rehearsed for like 8 months up into this thing. And it was our first show, March 1st, 96. And I remember it, you know, pretty well. And I went on stage, we went on stage, and I was nervous, but like jacked at the same time.
Yeah.
And I knew we were good. I was like, we're so good. We're going to kill this. And we opened up with a Green Day song. And then we ended up playing for like an hour and 40 minutes. Like we were the last band of the night. And we had like 10 songs that I'd written and like originals. And the rest were like covers. Like we played Bush and like Silverchair and like, you know, all that stuff from that era.
Dude.
And I was like, this is it for me, you know?
Dude, it's funny just listening to that trajectory. It warms my heart because it's so similar to my own. My very first show, 1989, Bon Jovi, Skid Row, and Blue Murder. And then my second show was Poison and Warrant in 91, Flesh and Blood tour. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Howie's trajectory as far as his music love is exactly like mine. Exactly. Because I loved R&B stuff too, especially in high school. Because I did chorus and choir and like jazz choir, so I loved the R&B stuff too. But my very first band ended up being a ska band that I sang in. So
that's awesome.
Irony, bro, irony.
It's something about, it's like when you like, I don't know, you get into music and it inspires you and everything. But then there's like that one band or two, you know, or a certain sound that you just feel like I could play that though. Like I feel like I could do that. You know, I wanted to. It's funny. I wanted to like be like an R&B like like when I was like 11. I was trying to sing and I wanted to dance and all this stuff, you know. But then the alternative rock just hit me in a different way. Like, okay, this is it. It's interesting when you're a kid and you're like finding your musical identity, you know, and how that happens. And it like the way my kids, like my son is really into the Kid Leroy and David, and it's like this just new modern, like David's like more modern, like alternative, but the kind of indie emo weird thing. But then the Kid Leroy's like a pop, like hip hop star, you know, like, and he doesn't even listen to any of my music, you know, like he's like whatever, but like he'll like laugh. He's like, you keep listening to this Green Day record. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. Like, how long have you known me? You know.
So does he have any of his own musical aspirations?
So he's every now and then I'll catch him making beats. He'll like dip in and out. Sometimes I'll catch him playing my guitar. He comes down or if I'm gone from tour, I'll come down and my guitar is in a different place than I put it, you know? And I'm like, okay, he's been down here playing. And he tries to play the Kid Leroy songs and stuff, which is great. And I don't know that he used to play drums. He stopped doing that, which is a bummer because he was really good. He stopped when he was like 7. Then he picked it back up when he was 10 because he started when he was about 2.
Right.
And then he just stopped a few years ago again. And he hasn't really. I don't know. My daughter is she likes to sing and she loves Billie Eilish. SZA, and she's she does theater stuff like in town, with the players and everything. It's cool. So
Yeah.
there's some performance stuff there. My son has actually been like killing it at social media marketing. He's 15. He's on TikTok, and this kid's made more money in the last 2 weeks than I make in a month sometimes.
It's
Like,
insane.
yeah, it's like it's really crazy.
You're like, boy, do you want to take over my social accounts?
I know. The problem is I don't make enough content for him to post anything,
Right.
even if he did. But no, he's been in like talking to like labels, and like I'm like, bro, you could like do this. Like you could work for a label or start your own marketing company or something, man. Like
That's where the future's at, man. For
yeah,
real.
the kid Leroy, again, his favorite, just reached out to him because he got his TikTok got banned the other day because he's been posting Leroy content. He runs a Leroy fan page, and they got like the digital content ID or something must have got him on TikTok, and he's been in contact with his people, and the Leroy tweeted to him a few days ago. I was like, hey man, we're trying to get your account back. It's just like, I don't know, man. This kid is driven like I was when I was a kid, and I'm just like, wow, what is this going to do? If he starts a band, I'm going to shut that shit down. Be like, bro, you're too good at this. Like, dude, don't be in a band.
That is so funny, dude. Again, another parallel. My daughter just went off to college. Like we just moved her in like 3 weeks ago, and right before she went, she was singing for a cover band. And the thing that endears me about this younger generation is they don't. And I've said this a million times already. You could listen to the last 10 episodes of my podcast. I think I bring it up every one. Kids don't look at music anymore as genre. They just look at music as being music. And like her playlist will go from the Smiths to Fleetwood Mac to Typo Negative, like in a snap. And it's like, what the hell? Where did this come from? But I think it's that musician mindset where, we just love absolutely everything.
I think music though too is it's crazy that it's worked out the way it has, like as far as like how artists get paid or not get paid, these days, or get paid very little. Because music is like, you really can't put a price on it, because I feel like everything, knowing that everything vibrates, and vibrations are essentially frequencies, and frequencies are notes, and like the earth vibrates. We just can't hear it because it's octaves and octaves and octaves low, and I feel like music is just, we're so connected to it. I always found it strange when I had a couple friends in school growing up that like didn't really listen to music. They'd like,
Yeah.
you're a fucking psychopath. Like, what? You don't listen to music, even fucking Christian Bale, American Psycho, even he loved Huey Lewis and the News,
Right.
But I just feel like, yeah, you can find like things that you love about a song or in a different genre, even if it's not your main genre. I remember like all my guys in my band are all metalheads, and I respect metal. I always have. I don't really get into it that much. I don't listen to any bands really on playlists, but like, I'll hear what they're listening to, like on the road. Everybody's playing their stuff, and I'll be like, damn, that's fucking dope. Like, just like you get that stank face. You're like, it's fucking yeah, heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and like just being either more open to things or more stressed about things, and metal relieves stress or something. Like
Right.
hits that nerve.
Yeah, it's probably a combination of all of those things, because I know I've let my guard down a lot more. Like, back in the day, like 20, 30 years ago, I would find myself getting really judgmental, right or wrong, about the other things that people would listen to. And now I'm like, man, I was a total dick because this shit rocks.
We're such gatekeepers, man.
Right? I know.
We'll gatekeep ourselves. We're like, I listen to that. I listen to that shit. Even though like that's funny, man. I'll hear some stuff. That's what I guess what they call the guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even there's I dig pop music too, man. I've all that stuff.
Same.
I was listening to Bieber's record the other day. Like it's fucking dope. You know, it's like I yeah, as you said, I've sort of lifted the guardrails or whatever, and just not as like gatekeeping on myself. Um,
Developing Ballyhoo and the sound that eventually, the band adopted, how did that come about? Because you did have such a diverse background. How did you really kind of immerse yourself into reggae adjacent type sounds?
I was like, Green Day's still my favorite band. That's a Billy Joe copy back there.
Love it.
The neck isn't quite right. It's a rosewood neck, but the dude gave me a maple neck to put on there if I want. So anyway, yeah, I loved Green Day so much. I was just a huge
Right.
fan. Like I went like every time we go to the record store, I go straight to the G's and I would start digging through looking for like import CDs and singles of Green Day. So I have a whole collection of Green Day singles, basket case, Longview, When I Come Around, like, and usually there's 2 or 3 songs, like unreleased stuff or live tracks on all of these.
Mhm.
And I would go digging for that stuff. I would find live album, bootleg, import stuff, and I have all that shit still. And so I just loved that. I loved it, and I wanted to sound like that, and I wanted to be him. I was a kid. I was like, when you're a teenager, man, you're just like that's your heroes. Like, and he was
Right.
my hero. And Kurt Cobain is a bit of a hero as well. But so it was funny because we were playing like pop punk and rock or whatever, and then I heard I was listening to Operation Ivy because Green Day was adjacent to them because they were like homies,
Yep.
Bay Area, and so I thought that was cool. And I didn't know what I was listening to. Again, I didn't know that I was listening to ska, reggae, whatever, punk rock. Just thought it was cool. And then it was like 96. I heard Goldfinger Here in Your Bedroom.
Yes.
And it was on the radio on HFS, this awesome alternative station. And I was like, this is crazy. This sounds like Green Day, but like they're doing something else. Like, and really loved that. And I bought I think the next day went and bought the album at the store. I had somebody take me. And then not long after that, it's Sublime
Mm-hmm.
came along. And I was like, yo, this is sick. Like, I really like this. And so I started using, so that would have been like summer, fall of 96,
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was, yeah, my buddy was listening to the self-titled record, Sublime, in his car. He was one of my best friends. He would take us to school every morning. And he didn't even go to school. He would like drop us off and leave. Like he was a senior.
Yeah.
But like he was listening to that, and the one thing that stood out was like cigarette pressed between her lips, but I'm staring at her tits, right? And I thought that line was so great, because I was like fucking 15, 16, whatever. And yeah, just that all that music just stuck with me, And then it was like Suicide Machines, Real Big Fish, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to write songs like that, and I don't know. It's the sound was sort of born. So the sound was sort of crafted over a couple years,
Right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how hard that third wave of ska hit in the late 90s. I've cited this on a million episodes of the podcast before too. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Turn It Up Ska in the 90s, a documentary done by Taylor Morden.
Yes.
Fantastic. And that scene where the dude from the Mad Caddies talks about that 6-month period of time when ska was on top of the world and then new metal hit, that cut me to the core, bro. Like still does.
Yeah, it wasn't a long thing. It was like it was a huge wave, but it was short.
Yeah.
And but in those couple years, there was a lot of great music, man.
Yeah.
Dance Hall Crashers and like fucking that one song. I can't always forget the name of the song. Lost Again by the Dancehall Crashers. Wow, what a great fucking song, man.
I Don't Want to Behave by Dancehall Crashers is one of my favorites too.
I was a really big No Doubt fan.
Yeah, same.
I think a lot of kids were at that time, but like Tragic Kingdom was like the record, you know, and like Spiderwebs is such a great fucking song.
Yes,
Such a great song, dude.
Yeah, you know, Nick Hexam and I were talking a couple months back, and we were talking about Transistor. When Transistor hit, it kind of like everybody kind of poo-pooed on it, but now you listen to it, it's kind of like 311's Sergeant Pepper's, because it was so reggae and like so experimental. And now you listen to it and you're like, holy shit, how ahead of their time were they when that came out?
Different, because everybody was, you know, they had to follow up the Blue album, which was a smash, and that's the one that blew them up. So naturally, the next record, you know, is expected to be a banger, you know. And I don't know. I've talked to Nick on my pod as well, and I can't remember if we dug into that very much, but I don't know if they had it on their mind of like, yeah, we're gonna try to write the best songs and we're gonna try to do just as good we did with Blue, or if they're just like, hey man, we're just gonna make what we make, and if people like it, great. If they don't, whatever. Because they already had their like solid fan base. You know, they didn't need the radio play. Really, they were already killing it as a live band. And they've created that culture, the 311 Nation culture. You know, but yeah, dude, like that record's so crazy. Like I used to listen to that. I've listened to that record front to back so many times. Yeah. A lot of times when I'm driving. We would drive to Philly, which is about an hour from where we live, and we would go play this venue. Like every couple months, we play this venue called Grape Street. We would go play the venue, and on the way back, I don't know what, just always 311 Transistor on the way, and it got you from track one to the very end. It got you home, and yeah, weird.
What's crazy about it is I don't remember if they came out on the same day or within a few weeks of each other. But Transistor and Oasis's Be Here Now came out right about the same time. And I have very like core memories of my buddies and I sitting on the back porch listening to those albums back to back. And honestly, even at the time, we were kind of thinking about how ahead of their own sound they were whenever both of those albums dropped. Now, the Oasis guys like Liam and Noel Gallagher have come right out and said that Be Here Now was a drug-addled like album start to back. How much cocaine and booze can you do and make a record? But it's really crazy how like blessed we were to be a part of that generation, to have music like that dropping as frequently as it was.
There was there's I don't think there's ever going to be anything like that ever again. You know, it's just like we know that like things go in cycles. Like I'm fucking dressing like I did in 2008 all of a sudden because baggy jeans are back in, you know, like but as far as like how we consume music and how we you know, you don't wait for anything. It's just there whenever you want it. And that's really strange and sort of takes the excitement out of it. You know, now I'm all for like the, you know, I wish Green Day would drop a record every 2 years instead of like every 4 years, you know, like, and you know, Tool fans, you know, they're just like, you know, every 10 years they get a record.
Right.
So I guess I'm happy to get my every 4-year record with Green Day or whatever, but like, yeah, it's like it was such a different time. And the excitement of like, I was watching a video about this recently about like monoculture, how it just doesn't exist anymore. Like probably never will. Right. But we, you know, there are definitely some things today that everybody's watching at the same time or around the same time within a couple months. But it's not like it was. It wasn't like the big event, you know, or like the like It in 1990. It comes out. There's a two-night event miniseries, you know, like Michael Jackson drops a brand new music video. Everyone tuned in for that. TV stations would shut their shit down just to drop his video, you know. It's like you don't have that anymore. And it's kind of, Fortnite does it with their events. They do some really cool events. So anybody who's into like Fortnite and gaming and stuff, like it's a big thing. But yeah, you don't just as a like a global or even just a national thing. You don't have that. It's for better or for worse. I don't know.
Do you think that major release schedules, if you were to kind of pare it down to music, how bands trickle out singles multiple times a year before they drop the whole album has kind of impacted that as far as the music industry goes?
Yeah, I think, but I think people's consumption habits is what's driving.
Yeah.
The labels, the labels aren't innovating anything. The labels are just going where the money is, and I mean, I guess they always have, right? But they're not dictating shit. Honestly, they're behind on everything. They don't know how to, just on YouTube in general and TikTok, anywhere that you can, so like reactors are getting their channels shut down. They're getting copyright strikes. If you get 3 on YouTube, your channel's done. You can't, and all your shit goes away. Rick Beato, big music guy, educates, shows you, he's showing brand new generations Led Zeppelin songs and Joni Mitchell songs and getting tons of views. And these labels are trying to shut him down for that.
Which is crazy.
Stupid. How stupid can you be? You're already trying to pinch pennies and save money on everything. You're getting free promotion to keep your catalogs alive. And all you got to do, and YouTube is a part of this too. They need to do something. They need to change, because the content ID system is digital. It's not a person. But it needs to be, something needs to happen. Like just share the revenue with the label. Like, I don't want the money. I just love this band and I want other people to know about them,
Right.
Rick Beato plays the songs. There's it's going on right now. He's like, he's made a few videos recently just about how they keep coming at him. His videos keep getting strikes and, or I'm sorry, claims.
You would hope that as, feelings about AI aside, you would hope as the AI gets more sentient, as scary as that sounds to say, that there's a little bit more digging into what the material is about. It's like, if it's a person like talking about the music and educating the public on the music, like, I don't know, it's weird. You would hope that eventually it becomes well educated enough to know not to strike it down because of the benefits.
Mm-hmm. It's called fair use, man. It's like, it's when I take something and I break the song down. Listen to this riff. All right, check this out. It goes like this. Or this is amazing. Listen to this drum line. And you're breaking it up. You're not playing the song front to back and saying, okay, thanks for watching. It's fair use. You've created something new.
Yes.
I'm not stealing the song. And a lot of times you get these smaller creators like, I don't own this. I just want to show you guys, but yeah, so the music industry needs to catch up and figure it out, and just signing a one-hit wonder off of TikTok. I mean, it just shows you where their heads are at. It's money. It's not really about developing artists anymore. If you listen to Incubus's first EP,
Fungus Among Us,
yeah, super weird.
Yes,
and you're like, why? I can't even fathom like a label being like, shit is hot, like shit's dope. There weren't any like singles on there really. I don't think.
There's barely any hooks.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, but Epic was cool, and they were like, well, we're gonna develop you. Like, there's potential here. Let's get something out there, see how it goes. Keep working with you guys, and like, obviously Brandon's voice is insane, and like, and look what happened. I mean, fucking dude, the Drive and Make Yourself, that record, Morning View, it worked out for them, but I don't know. It's just not. It's not what it was. I often said to myself, like, if I ever got approached by a label again, I would consider it. I would have the conversation, but I don't know if it would. I don't know if it'd be the move or not, because it's like, what you can't guarantee me that you're gonna do anything with the tunes.
Right.
You could just shelve the record, and then I'm not. Then you got me on contract, and I can't get out of it, and I can't do anything with those songs for so much time or whatever. I don't know. It's just a weird deal.
Going back to the topic of your son doing online marketing, you almost don't need a label anymore if you can figure out how to kind of jar that screw loose, you know?
People don't need Most people don't need a label. There's,
Yeah.
it's like there's people. I think there's always gonna be, you know, your uh, what is her name? Chappelle Roan, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Chappell Roan.
Chapel Roan.
Yeah, her and Post Malone's, and you're gonna have like, and Billie Eilish, and you're gonna have like, superstars, and even like superstars aren't as big as what they used to be, right? Um, but like, you're gonna have that, but that's a 1% or maybe even a less than 1% thing at this
Yeah.
point. I think 99% of us just need to focus on creating the best music possible, honest from the heart music that we want to do, um, and build community around that. And you can have your piece of the pie. You just cut it out yourself. It just takes a really long time and a lot of patience, a lot of grind, but it'll be honest, and you'll be happy with what you did, and you didn't sell your soul, you didn't do anything like that, and you own everything. And if you can get to a point where, you have like 1,000 super fans, it's just people that'll spend money on you all year long. You think of it like this, man. 1,000 people spend $100 on you throughout the year, not even at once, just $25 for a shirt, $25 for a shirt, $30 for a vinyl. In 1 year, one person, that's 100 grand. You can live off of that.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
you can live off of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to be, I'm always cautiously optimistic about what the future holds. I do follow a lot of music content creators, music managers, promoters, and such on social media. One guy I follow in particular, I wish I could remember his name, but he was talking about how the future of music, one concerning thing is that song length is going to start degrading and getting shorter and shorter because songs are going to be used more for sync and for viral videos moving forward as opposed to being full compositions, and it's really hard to build community around that if you're not telling a full story, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. So here's how I would get around that. If let's just say that happened and that's just what it was. Now the standard is just like putting out short songs, and we're going for syncs and things like that, which I do see that happening for sure. But let's say that's the thing now. Well, use your community. This is a great opportunity to feed your community. So you say, all right, guys, here's this song, right? And it's a 3.5, 4 minute song, like they are, like you would write, right? Here's the song. This is the release. But watch me do this now. I'm gonna go into Pro Tools or Logic. I'm gonna chop it all up because I'm gonna try to get this bitch synced. We're gonna cut this down to 2 minutes. We're gonna trim all the fat. We're gonna, tell your story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell your story. Just do what you give it. That's what your fans want. They want you to tell them the story. That's what they're there for. But if you got to do it for the corporate shit too, which these days, do what you got to do because it's really hard to have a career, and make music off the shit. So if you're going for syncs and this is what it requires, chop the song up. Who gives a fuck? Seriously, you're sending instrumentals. You're sending soloed vocals or whatever you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell your story, and you use that. You do it on a live stream. Watch me on live stream, chop the song up or whatever, and people are super chatting, and you're making money, and you're doing it. It's just, you just got to learn how to make lemonade.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Now, speaking about building community, with Ballyhoo, you've toured relentlessly and built a loyal fan base. What is your philosophy? And you kind of alluded to it a little bit for connecting with fans, both online and on the road.
It's you have to over deliver. You have to it's not that you let the fans dictate what you're gonna do, like this your sound or anything like that. It's just like when you do deliver the music or whatever it is, you make yourself available, accessible to let them ask you questions about it. Let them feel a part of it. You know, sometimes I'll be on stream and I'll be writing songs and I'll produce a song right then and there for people. You know, like, hey guys, I'm writing this song. Let's come check it out. You know, like it's all those things. You have to like care about your fans because you can't do shit, can't make money without that. And when it comes to live shows, you know, it's like, you know, we do VIP sessions now. The meet and greet thing. We spent 15 years going to the merch table every single night on the road. And April will be 20 years of touring. And so we spent 15 years every single night going to the merch table. We're high-fiving, we're taking shots with people, we're getting pictures, we're whatever they need, we're chatting, we're doing the thing, right? Sometimes staying there longer than we should, you know, most nights I'd say. And we were just trying to make friends and try to, you know, we wanted to give people that time, you know. These days, everybody's older. I've been having voice issues, you know. It's a lot of our fans know that by now, but and I can't go out there and just chat it up and you're talking over people and you're blah blah blah. And it's like I want to give people that moment if they want it, but these days it just has to be with a VIP package. You know, if you catch me outside walking to the van or the bus or whatever, of course I'm gonna take a picture and chat or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's just you do have to decide how much of yourself to give, how much to stay private, how much to you know, you don't have to go out and talk to fans every single night if it's something that if it's your mental health isn't right or your voice isn't working or just, you know, because I would rather not let anybody see me if I'm in a bad mood than go out there in a bad mood and come off as a dick, you know. And I'm pretty self-aware with this kind of shit. Like I'm not a dick, but like I'll always give people the time, you know. But so yeah, there's a line. There's a line. You just have to figure out what that is. But I'd say definitely for bands that are getting started or in their infancy, you know, just doing it a few years, you got to be out there, man. You got to be like giving it to them and whatever they need, you know.
Well, you know, I gotta commend you because you've not been one to shy away from the parasocial relationship. You do a lot of vlogging on YouTube. You're a past podcaster yourself. Very transparent about, you know, personal challenges and decisions. And I think that gives a lot for fans to invest in you personally as well. Obviously, you got to have your personal guardrails and not overshare things that you're not comfortable with. But I think you've done a really good job in building a community online that kind of correlates to the community that supports the band.
Thank you. I think like because you don't see enough of artists talking about the hard parts.
Right.
You don't see them talking about mental health or, you know, when they're depressed or whatever. It's all the highlights and all the fun shit, which is just what social media is anyway. Even your friends, it's like, oh, we went on vacation or whatever. Like, it's not like that. It's not real. I mean, that's real. What they did was real, but it's not like that all the time. And same for artists. It's like, yeah, man, we're having a blast on stage and doing the thing and then ripping and we're putting on good shows and stuff. But like, the in-between stuff is the human stuff. And it's like I don't see really anybody talking, like literally nobody's talking about it. You know, anything deep, you know? And I'm not saying like you got to go on and be like to you know, speak on politics or anything. I'm talking about just like what it is to be in a band or whatever you're doing and the hardships that come with that. Because I think people would get a better understanding. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, damn, I had no idea. You
Right.
know, when I make a video, and I'll go pretty hard sometimes, like, yo, fuck this, like I don't feel like doing this, like, and it's just all on, I'm talking to YouTube about this shit. I don't know. I just think that I just think it needs to be addressed more. If nobody's gonna do it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Same. No, it's crazy because I can't believe I'm gonna fucking quote one of the Paul brothers, like Jake or Logan Paul, but there's a real truthful thing. I forget which one said it, where he says, your best friend is a person online that you've never met, and your biggest hater is somebody that you know. And people get so caught up in hyperbole and standing on soapboxes online and just like trying to show off the best aspects of her life or the grandstand on opinions to where like reality gets totally lost. So guys like yourself and myself who just aren't afraid to put it out there and just kind of, you know, it's easy to point the finger and say, that guy's online all the time, he must be a narcissist. And it's like, no, man, I'm just trying to be real and figure out a way to make somebody else's day better, or even myself, like, because sometimes podcasting or creating things online is its own version of therapy for me as well.
yeah, yeah. I was telling my wife that recently is if I don't do anything for a few days or a week, it's like if I don't do anything creative,
Right.
if I don't make a video or write a song or something, I get really depressed. I get really weird. That's, I feel like a lot of us, most of us, um, just as humans, like we have to feel like some sort of worth or something. Like we have to feel like, um, I don't know. I want to know that. I guess I want to know that I'm making a difference in some way or something. I've always liked showcasing my work, um, but when people watch these videos that I do, it's like sometimes I do question. I'm like, man, is this weird?
Right.
Is this too much, or is this melodramatic? Because I don't want to put out bummer videos. I've said this a few times in my vlog where I'm like, I sorry, the last 3 videos have just been bummers. I'm in a bad mood this week. It's cloudy right now, and but that's just what it is. And I wonder, I'm like, God, I don't want to keep putting out videos like that, but people tell me like, bro, this is like, thank you so much for making that video. Like, it really, really helps. It's nice to see someone else going through the same sort of things that I am.
Yeah. I have the same type of moments. Like when I first got on TikTok and started using TikTok as a vehicle to promote the podcast, it would be a lot of just me in front of the camera, just taking a subject, kind of talking about it, throwing the video up. And then I got overly hyper conscious of it. And I was just like, okay, like, am I getting too preachy? Am I like, should I have made this? Should I have posted it? So then I go through phases where I'm like, I'm just throwing up clips of other people. So, but I mean, it's the same thing. I think it's human nature to kind of question intent from time to time. And I think that's a perfectly healthy thing for us to do.
Yeah, I on top of like, because there's a whole like obviously the social media aspect of it. Like, we're uploading to social media, and it's like we weren't really built to like live like that, like to have a camera in our face and talk about our whatever our lives and then put it up for a showcase and then have people react to it, and it's like, and say things about it and drop their own opinions about things, and good or bad, whatever. But it's just strange, and there's this weird, there's the dopamine of getting the video out and being like, fuck yeah, I did it, and then the dopamine again of people enjoying it, and then the possible like crash of like somebody saying something shitty, but I usually don't let that stuff bother me. I make like stupid jokes and I try to make it funny, but Um, yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the parasocial thing. It's like that's something that's weird to me too, because I've experienced it myself with, people that I've seen or whatever. But like for me, as like a YouTuber slash guy in band with some moderate success for an indie band, um, when these people feel like they know me, you know, and I've gotten to know a lot of people that are
Right.
always in my chat and stuff. That's great, which is cool. I see a lot of the same faces at the shows, which is awesome. Sometimes you run into people that have been into your band for a long time or watching your videos for a long time, and like they're like, "Hey, dude," and you just sort of like you don't know them, so you just, and I'll be like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I still treat them like a friend, but like I know that they can tell that I don't know who the fuck they are,
Right.
and that's just weird to me. It's
Yeah.
it's because and so I guess I try to go even friendlier
Hmm.
to make it less weird. But yeah, the parasocial relationship is funny. It gets really weird when people start to like, um, I guess, expect things from you or something, or
Right.
when that it's like, okay, this is getting a little unhealthy maybe. um I can't, you can't expect me to know who you are, like, I don't know.
It's very similar. The best way I could compare it, it's very similar to running into a friend that you haven't seen for 20 years, and the last time you saw them, they were on a bad path in life, and you're like, "Oh shit, I don't know what I'm getting here. Like, is this the person I used to like high five, hug, and like hang out with, or is this somebody that's, a deranged lunatic now?" you know,
I
for lack of a better term. But
Just the other night, I'm normally like, like, what's up, man, how's it going, like, how you doing,
right,
dude? The other night I was at the grocery store, and someone from my past I hadn't seen in a long time, um known each other for fucking like probably like 35 years or something like that. So we were in like school together or whatever. Um, and some weird stuff went down with this person,
hmm,
um, that I was never going to be associated with. Like, fuck all that. And this was years ago, and I just saw this person recently, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Howie?" I look up. I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" And I look. I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then I just went back to my thing, and I just left. I don't know. I don't really do that with people. I don't really. But that was just a weird situation. I don't know. It
right.
just felt weird.
Yeah, it's my wife. I got to give her credit because this is her thing. She says when you're on social media, do not become friends with somebody you would turn the other direction from if you ran into them on the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's a pretty damn good point, because kind of wrapping all of this up in a bow, like the internet can be a scary place. It could be an amazing place as well. It's just you never know what, like Forrest Gump says, you never know what you're gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
get.
It's crazy. These companies, they build these apps now to just rage bait and clicky and keep you on the platform and make people fight, and it's just really, you know
Yeah.
um yeah, so
It's scary because we like the best parts of it, but we hate the ugliness of it.
and you get caught up in the ugliness,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's like I feel like I can't tell if I'm addicted to that or if I'm just hoping something cool comes up that makes me happy as I'm
Right.
scrolling. Oh man, it's such a weird time. And like I think about like the kids, like this is all they know. Like we know before iPhone and Facebook, and we know,
Right.
these kids just were born with it, and it's like I can't even imagine. Like my kids are cool. Like we've had to like take their phones over the years because,
Right.
yeah, give me the phone. Do your homework. But like, if you were to actually like take their phone from them and just never give it back or threaten them, like it's a real threat to them, you know?
Hmm.
Like it's so strange.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing as that 3 month grounding when you were a kid. It's like, shit, I can't. My life's over. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I just feel like they're just, everybody's just, I mean, everybody's just on it all the time. I'm guilty of it too, you know?
Same.
I try to do the old, to do the old thing of like, don't look at the phone for like the first hour that I'm awake.
Hmm.
Just get up, brush your teeth, go do things, put the dishes away, whatever, from the dishwasher, like just whatever, make the kids lunch, just don't look at the fucking phone, but I lately just can't help myself.
My bad habit is in the middle of the night grabbing the phone on the nightstand and seeing a notification that just jars me. And then it's like, fuck, I guess my sleep cycle's
Yeah.
over.
I'm just in the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, so I'm up, but it's weird. One of the healthiest things I ever did for myself, and I wish I was as disciplined now as I was back then, but like Christmas season 2019, I completely logged off all of social media for 2 weeks. It was
Wow.
like from Christmas Eve until the day after New Year's. And I could not believe couldn't believe I made it. But the first thing I did when I logged back on was unfollowed things that just didn't, fulfill me. Like unfollowed people, unfollowed things that just didn't make me happy. It was one of the most healthy things that I did. And then 3 months later, we have a global fucking pandemic, and it's like, okay, everybody's online again.
Everybody's online. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's weird because like, for me, it's like, and a lot of us, especially content creators, it's like that's where our business is.
Hmm.
It's on the apps, it's on the phone, um, and you're checking emails and you're answering comments, and you're shooting your video on your phone. Just like there's, I don't know. It's weird. I like just having the TV, at night, to watch Dexter or something, and just
Right.
try to like kill my brain for an hour. You
Right.
know.
Speaking of escapism, you guys just released the EP Close to Me. Tell me about the antithesis of that, because those songs aren't brand new, so to speak, but let's talk about that a little bit.
Close to Me is a new old song. And it came out in '08 on our Cheers record. Well, it dropped in like '06 or '07 on a Sense Boardware compilation, but
Mm-hmm.
officially we put it on our third album, Cheers, and it was just acoustic. I did it in one take. It came out, and people really related with it. It's about my mom who passed away when I was 15, and it was about 10 years after she died that I wrote that song in 2006. So yeah, that one just vibed. People really liked that. So back in that era, the Cheers era, '08, '09, '10, that song was a pretty big one to play live. People always want to hear it. And I'll just play acoustic, And I think we did a punk rock version of it a few times. But that we stopped playing it for a long time, and then this is 30 years of the band. So we started kind of going back and forth about like, it'd be cool to like maybe re-record some old songs, some songs that like, had a lot of potential, but never really got the light of day, and they didn't get the spotlight that we'd want them to, especially back then, just everything's an album. It's just, you got 15, 18 songs just in a sea of, songs. So, we started playing Close to Me live in this version, the way it sounds on the record. Now, and I just really liked how it vibed. I was like, man, this is cool. It's got like a 2000s reggae rock vibe to it, just the way it grooves along. And so we record a lot of our sets, so I used drums from, I think it was the Boston show in June, from that performance of that song, and just had the band play on top of it, re-record their parts.
Yeah.
And I did the vocals here, and I just put it all together right here on Pro Tools, and yeah, it turned out really good.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. It got added to the mowing playlist.
Sick. Love that. Love. You fucking cry while you're mowing the lawn.
Well, brother, you guys are heading out on tour September 25th. What can you tell audiences all about that tour that's coming up?
We're going to be kicking off the tour at Ocean's Calling in Ocean City, Maryland, which is like our party town from years ago. We love playing out there, and Green Day's playing, which is sick.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Lenny Kravitz, and then we got the next day is like Good Charlotte and Fall Out Boy, and like it's gonna be a big weekend. So we're playing day one with Green Day and shit. So that's great. And then we're gonna take off for a little fall tour. We're going out. We have Reggae Rise Up in Vegas, so we kind of anchored some dates around that. So we're going out to do that and hitting a bunch of spots on the way there and back. So yeah, everybody should go.
I love that, man. My closing question, I'm really excited for your answer to this one because I ask everybody, but my closing question for every guest that does my show is, given your experience, everything that you've gone through, starting with the Poison Rat concert back in 1986, Look What the Cat Dragged In tour, everybody, to now, what's your advice for making the world a better place tomorrow than what it is today? And you can keep it as simple as possible.
I say this every now and then, but be kind. Just like be kind and try to be open. Try to be okay with things, even if like it's not your thing. Just dude, is with everything that's happening right now, like shit is crazy. And we gotta be nicer to each other. I see so many people on the road, dude, they're just like speeding around and just mad at everything, just like, not just today, but I'm talking about just in general. Like, just notice I've been driving a lot the last few months, and it's just like, God, everybody's just in a hurry and mad and like, and just, God damn it. Just like, if it doesn't affect you, don't fucking worry about it. Just live your life. Do what you got to do. Protect your family. Live the life you want to live. Let other people live the life they want to live. It's life is too short. You get one, it's not worth it, bro. The way we're tearing each other down.
Agreed. I couldn't agree anymore, man. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to www.ballyhoorocks.com. Follow my friend Howie on his YouTube channel or wherever you see him on social media. Brother, you got to come back and we got to do this more often.
Yeah, let's do it, bro.
This is like one of my favorite recording sessions that I've done. And I don't say that to just anybody, but
thanks a lot.
I love the depth of the conversation. I feel like we got a lot more in us, man.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, I would love to come back. I love your backdrop there. It's
The Clash, the Misfits, a couple of jiu-jitsu books, Dave Chappelle.
I love it.
Howi Spangler, the world is a much better place with you in it, my friend. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me.